It is easy to find digital gaming systems like the Nintendo Switch or the Sony PlayStation 4 in any dormitory's common room. It is harder, however, to find tabletop games. But what about a handcrafted board game? While in South Midquart's lounge, a common sight is Jacob Ranker and other students playing Pawns, a board game that his own father recreated from a discontinued French tabletop game.
My dad played it at least once when he was a child, but then he did not own the game, and whoever owned the game no longer had access to it. And so sometime in the mid to late 70s, so he would have been late teens at the time, he decided that he wanted to play the game again, but not having access to it, there wasn't really much he could do except build it from memory.
Jacob's father made everything, from the wooden blocks to the instruction sheet.
He built it sometime in the late 70s. He typewrote and hand drew all the instructions, so there's a bunch of diagrams that he hand drew. Everything else is typewritten. The board itself is hand drawn and labeled, and there's a ton of wooden blocks that you use in the game. All of those were handcrafted.
Pawns comes in a yellow box with no markings or drawings. The items inside include an instruction manual, a 16 by 16 squares map, a die, 6 different sets of 4 pawns in different colors for the players to move around, and a number of wooden shapes to build with. Here's Ranker giving an overview of the game.
The basic idea of this game is that you're trying to get from a corner of the board to the middle of the board, problem being that there's a river in the middle. Luckily, you have pieces that you can use to build a bridge over the river. You're working by yourself, but others are trying to block you from getting across your bridge or trying to block you from building a bridge. As such, it can be a collaborative game, but mostly it's an individual game where everyone's trying to sabotage each other.
When Ranker introduced the game to his dorm after winter break, it quickly caught on. According to Weinberg Jr. and two-time winner of Pawns, Sarik Goyo, the unique background of the game is part of what draws people in.
It's different than a normal board game because, like, when you see it, you always ask, like, what is that? It's nothing like you've ever seen before. And so I think a lot of people are, like, interested in trying to at least watch for a bit to see what's going on because it just looks so different and it looks interesting. And I think that's helped attract a bunch of people to try out the game.
Ranker makes sure his dad knows of the popularity for the game.
I've definitely told my dad that I've played with friends and that the reception has been overall very positive.
Still, its popularity might not be entirely positive for Ranker's academic career.
We've been playing very frequently since, which has somewhat negatively impacted my grades, but oh well. It's a good game.
For Medill, this is Quan Pham reporting.